With only 1 day left until Election Day 2.0 for Georgia voters, it's still a close race. One new CNN poll shows that Democrat Raphael Warnock is only 4 points ahead of Republican opponent Herschel Walker. Both neck and neck for Georgia's seat in the U.S. Senate. The poll suggests that 52% of likely voters will vote for Warnock, with 48% of likely voters going to Walker.
Continuing in the runoff election, inflation and the economy are the most important issues to Georgia voters. Former President Barack Obama was even in Georgia last week to encourage voters to cast their ballots for Warnock. While speaking at the rally last Thursday, Obama had this to say about Warnock's opponent.
But I also had to acknowledge that I did not think he had either the competence, the character, the track record of service that would justify him representing Georgia in the United States Senate. Now, if you had forgotten what I said the last time, it's okay, because you just have to wait a minute. He reminds you every time he opens his mouth.
So I don't know what you're thinking, Batya, but I think it's over for Walker. I'm going to predict a Warnock win at this point. I don't see how Republicans rally to get Walker over the finish line, given that, it doesn't matter for the stakes are low because the Senate is already solidly in Democratic hands with the results elsewhere, with the result in Pennsylvania, et cetera. And also, Brian Kemp not on the ticket because he already won. And if anything, he would have helped drag Herschel Walker over the finish line because he's more popular than Walker is. He easily won his reelection. I think Republicans are going to be demoralized going into this vote. I don't think they've been given more reason to vote for him than during the first round. So, and given all that, incumbency is an advantage. It's worth something. So I think this is probably going to be a reelection for Senator Warnock.
And how do you feel about that, Robby?
How do I feel about it? What do you mean by that? Hey, how would I vote? I'd be voting for my candidate got knocked out, the Libertarian Party guy, Chase Oliver, I believe is his name. He's great. I would have voted for him in a heartbeat. He's actually showed some interest in being our national LP candidate, so I hope he runs, and look forward to hearing more from him. Look, neither Warnock nor Walker are candidates who I have a lot of interest in. At the very least, I like to see, if I'm going to go out of my way and voice support for a main party candidate of one of the two main parties, I want to see them catering to my vote. How are they trying to, talk to me and my issues? I don't see either of the candidates in this race doing that, honestly. Warnock is, I think, a very standard issue, progressive Democrat. Walker, I wouldn't ascribe to him very sophisticated ideological views on anything. I wouldn't say he's really a libertarian. I wouldn't even say he's really part of the new right. I don't think has a deep kind of intellectual grasp of where to take the Republican Party. Honestly, he got this endorsement because of his friendship, of loyalty to Trump. If there's one thing he cares about, it seems to be loyalty to Trump. I don't really want to reward that. That said, Warnock does not support policies I like. So I'll be just kind of twiddling my thumbs as the results come in. Doesn't matter either way to me.
I think it was really interesting to see Georgia voters get to choose between two Black candidates on both tickets. You just love to see it. I mean, you just love to see people having options and people having choices. I didn't feel that Walker was a suitable candidate. And I think that it was just another example of Trump choosing the celeb over probably other options that he could have had. But I have to say, I do think that in terms of giving Black voters more choices, this is how the Republican Party makes a start doing it. This was a bad choice. But the idea that, diversity matters, that's not a woke idea. I think that's a really good idea. Give people somebody that they can admire and see themselves reflected in. I think that's really important. So I'm not sure that I would have wanted to see Walker win, but I'm glad that that is the choice that people were given. I think that's really interesting and really important.
Yeah, it's sure, it's historical to see both candidates being minorities, being black men that shows some level of progress. That's not, we don't want to say, well, there's no racism because there's been a black president, something like that. But yeah, it is. It's significant. It's significant than how little we talked about that, right? That wasn't something talked about in this race a lot. Oh, look, it's two black candidates, because it's kind of anyone. Because we've lowered how salient race is as an issue for voting on, and raised how salient just the utter locked in brutal political struggle between the two parties that has raised. Right. So now no one is saying, oh, I couldn't vote for, some people out there, but it's not a significant number of people saying, oh, I couldn't vote for a black man, or I just have to stay home because there's two black people, right? It's, no, I can't let a Democrat win. I can't let a Republican win. That is everyone's top concern. That, to be clear, has some negative trade-offs, that everyone is so kind of stuck in their club and so hateful toward the other side. But yes, it has made all the other issues less significant, and that's a good thing, because we want race and racism to be less significant, in my book anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I would say to Republicans is stop going for the easy, the celebs Walker or Kanye West, right? Go into the black community, find talent, nurture it, speak to the people, right? There's plenty of other options there, and people who need a choice. I'm not saying I'm not really committed one way or the other to who people vote for, which party they vote for, but the black community should have a choice like the rest of us, and they don't yet feel like they do, and that's not their fault. That's the result of just a failure of investment in those communities. As always, I feel like the left has abandoned them to intersectionality, to cater to every other minority group except the black community. And the right, just never thought they had a chance. And so they never invested. And this is, the whole thing about, elevating Kanye, elevating Walker is about shortcutting that, when what you need is to do the work. It's a lot of work. It's very hard, and get started now, because it's not okay that both sides have just abandoned these communities.
All right, well, tomorrow on Rising, Revolutionary Black Network Savvy Sabs will join us to discuss Hakeem Jeffries' ascent to House Minority Leader. Very exciting stuff there. We'll be looking forward to the show tomorrow. Unfortunately, without Batya. It was wonderful, as always, having you on Mondays, Batya.
Thank you so much for having me, Robby. It was such fun.
And be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can check us out on Roku as well. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you later.